do. So it seems like warm works better than cold. Cold it restricts, warm opens up. So all right, we're gonna do that.
Yeah, baby, you know what time it is. Now let's get it started. Are you kidding me? Unreal!
While our HBCUs are mostly known for academic rigor, community, they also know how to turn up.
Does he have it? Yes, he does! And that might be the knockout punch.
We all stand on the shoulders of those who came before us.
A Black future happens all the time. It's built on a foundation of those who have paved the way. A generation ago, all of this would have seemed unheard of. And what's new to the world now will be incomparable to what's coming up next. Trust your dream. The future is counting on it.
All right, instant reaction time. If you haven't known or if you haven't seen, FAMU did lose the game, 56-24. The spread was not covered. So my original prediction was right, but not gonna lie, after everything transpired, I was a little down, a little melancholy, and I was like, well, UNC might cover the spread because we only had 7 offensive linemen. But that being stated, it was a pretty good game. It was a tale of two halves. First half, FAMU was competitive. We, outside of one interception late by Musa, looked very good. We were right there with them. It was 21-14, and then we throw that interception. We give the ball to UNC really on our half of the field. Not really. It was on our half of the field. And it turned into something that was beneficial for them and not for us. UNC directly scores. They go into halftime 28-14. You get a really crappy halftime show. And it's not crappy because the bands are there. It's crappy because on the ACC network, they were talking over the bands. Just give us a dedicated channel for the bands. Just like the Me X Swag Challenge. I went to my ESPN app, 4-letter network, band channel. This game, no band channel. EJ Manuel's talking about the band. That's cool. That's cute. But that's not efficient. I don't want to hear you. I want to hear the band. I want to hear the Marching 100. So y'all get a D- for that. But carrying on and continuing on, we do learn a couple things, and y'all know I'm gonna talk about this tomorrow, but it is our instant reactions. And instant reactions, I'm gonna try to keep them less than 15 minutes. One, because I don't want to further wear out my throat. But two, because it's right after the game. So sometimes my emotions are gonna be a little raw. This game is not. I kind of expected the loss, and I expect it to be worse than what it was. But FAMU's got a quarterback. Musa looked good. He was sharp. He does have an interception, which you were told Musa is high risk, high reward. He is very accurate though. That ball, when it's supposed to be where it's supposed to be, it gets there. He does tend to read defenses from what I'm able to tell kind of quick and goes with his pre-snap reads, which I think that may make him susceptible to being tricked, maybe, or fooled. But very accurate. And he definitely raised some eyebrows. I don't think he gets drafted in the NFL first round. I'm not going, oh, yeah, Moose is going to be a first round pick. But somebody's going to pay him some attention now. Like, you put some more film like that out there, and it's going to be a good dictator. So, FAMU's definitely got QB1. And as I told y'all coming out of the spring, I'm like, I like McKay, but Moose is different. That dude's different, even to the point where post game, the UNC's coach, Mac Brown, was saying number 8 over there is good. Like, that's a good quarterback. And he was talking about how FAMU made the postseason and how that was a good team. And even EJ Manuel states that the team was good and that we had some pretty good things. So we have some things to address. We're going to talk about those tomorrow, 8:30 on the HBCU digital app. Also Twitter, Twitch, Facebook. But anyways, I digress. We also saw FAMU's running game. I was excited about it. I told you, I was like, ooh, let me get a little swig of water because, oh, man, the running game, it was nice. It was nice considering we had 5 offensive linemen by the end of the game. The running game looked good despite the fumble. We do have a fumble from one of the running backs late in the game, though. The game, we're approaching garbage time at that point, but that fumble pretty much sealed the end of the game. From that point on, if you're watching a rebroadcast, you can stop watching. There's not a lot good that's going to come out of that. The receiving core looks good, though. Even though UNC, to me, played a very vanilla defense, I felt like UNC did call off the dogs kind of early. I did, and respectfully, I appreciate it. But I felt like by the fourth quarter, UNC was like, we're just going to not let them get hurt. And like, we're going to win this game. And that was done. But the receivers looked good most of the night. They caught the ball pretty consistently. When the ball was where it was supposed to be, FAMU receivers caught it. And you can see the difference between last year and this year, especially considering Moose is just a little more accurate. He's a more polished quarterback. I mean, you can't, and that's not a slight on anyone. It's facts. He's slightly more polished. He's played the position longer. Also, though, FAMU's defense, the defense looked good. Yeah, we give up 56 points, and I just looked at the screen, 56-24, reminder. But consider what you didn't have. Like, I'm not here for Pyrrhic victories. I hate Pyrrhic victories. I hate that we won but we lost mentality, because in all, it just, to me, it supports bad habits. Appreciate you, Tommy. But we showed our defensive line was solid, and I think if that's the defensive line play that we're gonna get, then I'm excited. I'm very hopeful, and I think that we're gonna be able to do a little something next week in Miami. Like, I'm not gonna lie, this news from yesterday, I was very down on the season. I did feel like some of my predictions were about to change. If we're gonna have players miss the first 4 games, I was very just disenchanted is the correct word with the direction I saw things going. But to then see Gross and Goss kind of, some of them got their butt beat earlier, but then bounce back, to see Jennings, to see Musa, to see the X-Man and the receiving core really step up, and to even see the secondary. The secondary is solid until halftime. Like, once the defense gets tired, game's over. I don't think there's that big of a talent disparity between FAMU and Jackson State. There is some, considering what may or may not be there. We'll find out more at a later time. But until that time, I don't want to sell doom and gloom. But FAMU's defense looked good. The secondary, like I said, they were solid, but that defensive line, we did not really allow UNC to run the ball till the end of the game. Like once we approached that garbage time, fourth quarter, after that last fumble, they were running the ball pretty consistently. Also tackling. Willie Simmons talked about it, but the tackling was pretty good. It may be because I've been watching FAMU and FSU play football since forever, and the last couple of years, FSU's tackling has been garbage. FAMU's tackling has been better. And today, they just showed the lightning strike from Florida State game. They're showing the highlights from Florida State game, but the tackling was pretty consistent. It was very good form tackling. People were getting wrapped up. It was the things that you and I learned when we were in middle and high school about how to tackle, wrap somebody up, bring them down. Like it was good. And really until the game gets out of hand, the tackling was pretty positive point that I put out there as well. So again, 56-24, it's not the outcome that you wanted if you were wanting to sell FAMU as having a chance to win the game, but it was the outcome that you expected. But it's not what you feared. What I feared was a 70-point game, considering, man, we lost a lot of talent, this, that, and the third. Are these guys going to want to play? Like, how is it going to look? Because I don't doubt your Rattler spirit. I'm just wondering, with all these things going on, how are you going to approach it? And I loved it. I was in a couple of conversations with some colleagues, and it was like you were almost like, man, you were so proud of the kids. And it was almost like that. I almost want to cry because I'm so proud of them because they were overcoming something. And even into the fourth quarter, they played with a chip on their shoulder. So I think going forward, we're going to see more good things to come. I don't know if we get the season that we expected, depending on what the NCAA does with the number of players and how long they have to sit out. Like, if the players have to sit out the whole season and they're the wrong player, it's going to hurt us. If it's somebody else, we'll see. But considering who you got at quarterback, that makes that game against Jackson State in Miami more compelling because you got a gunslinger. Now, you're not going to see that same loose coverage. You know Deion's going to play press man, and it's going to be a lot of man-to-man defense. Can the receivers get off routes? Can they get open? I think FAMU's receivers can. I think they will. And I think that's going to be the tail of the tape as far as how that game goes. But instant reaction, we're going to keep it short. 56-24. FAMU loses, but it's a Pyrrhic victory. We lost the game, but we have our quarterback. We have our starting tight end. Hopefully, we get some healthy returns from the offensive linemen. We had 2 that left the game with injuries. Hopefully, we're able to get some organization, at least to who and what players are going to be coming back. And also, the due date to have an athletic director is next week. We were told by Orange Blossom Classic we'd have an athletic director. It's now abundantly clear that not only do we need one, we need an athletic director, and we need somebody with experience with the NCAA. And we need compliance officers, because otherwise we are going to be a school that lacks institutional control, because it's very troubling to read a letter from the president and saying where it says, I'm now going to start talking about athletics. Athletics brings in a lot of money. It should have always been an action item. But that being the case, I look forward to seeing y'all more and more. Again, for all the away games, I might try to do this. Like, y'all can hear I wasn't screaming at TV too bad, but I'm still a fan of you. And now I'm still loving my team. Like, I'm proud of them. We do lose the game, but the FAMU spirit continues. So as always, y'all, it is Fangs Up, and we're going to go out here and we're going to strike again. But thank you to HBCU Digital and also AT&T.
Yeah, baby, you know what time it is. Now let's get it started. Are you kidding me? Unreal!
While our HBCUs are mostly known for academic rigor, community, they also know how to turn up.
Dorsey, how